Hello and welcome to the PPC Spring Summit. My name is Dr. STEM, STEM. I am so excited to come here today and talk about how to be a positive influence in a world full of division. I will be talking about the 22 ways to help calm yourself when all else seems to be falling apart. Let me ask you, have things fallen apart for you in the last 3 years? I'm sure you're going, yeah, right. Is that a question to ask? Of course, things have fallen apart. And they have fallen apart for us all. The rug was pulled from underneath all of us. So, when we talk about being a person of influence, one of the key things that comes to mind is having or maybe recreating a peaceful mindset, an open and calm mindset, as well as life approach. It has been quite a challenge. It has been quite a challenge for me and many others during this pandemic to find my right footing, to find my courage to bounce back and do what I love most. That is inspiring, encouraging, and empowering women. And yes, men, don't tune me out. Stay right here because yes, you will gain as well. So, in these times of change, I tell you, it can feel like everything around you is falling apart and everything is chaos all around you. Because here's the thing, we have no idea when COVID will completely be gone and what changes will be sustained, as it is much harder to manage the changes on a day-to-day right now. But luckily, there are many ways to calm down. There are many ways we can get grounded, gain clarity, and calm ourselves. And yes, be able to lead others in whatever capacity that we are doing it right now. So the following 22 ways are a nudge and guidance to where you can begin to enjoy getting grounded again and becoming strong again to be an influence again in whatever capacity that you have done so or that you would like to do. So let's begin. Here are the 22 ways. Number one, start with a self-analysis. Identify your biggest struggles right now. What is going well and what is not going well. If you journal, that can be a great journaling prompt to make time to just think about what's working and what's not working. And also, if things could be better, what changes would you make or what changes would have happened? Number two, trust in yourself. If you've gone through a rough period of time, which, as I said at the beginning, all of us have, it has been also a period of growth, personal growth, professional growth and change. Because when we look back and see how challenges and difficult times have molded us, we all can agree that this pandemic also brought a lot of growth in all of us because we had to change. We had to make changes, and we're beginning to see some of the changes that we were afraid to do prior to the pandemic. And all of a sudden, now we are motivated, we are driven to go after what it is that we've been wanting to do. So physically and emotional, there also have been changes. And the key is to trust in yourself. You are unique. You are different. Your story is different. This time here, trusting yourself means, guess what? You get to choose your story. You get to choose how you tell your story, what you allow in your story, who you allow to be in your story, what experiences that you keep in your story. You get to choose to trust in yourself, believe in yourself, and that's number two. Number three, visualize a few years from now. Prior to the pandemic, I used to do a lot of visualization, workshops and, vision board workshops. And guess what? What I wanted people to do was to visualize what it is that their ideal life looks like. My ideal life was always training, teaching, workshops, seminars, and conferences. And I wanted to be in Jamaica somewhere and come out live on somebody's screen where they're comfortable and they can see and we're talking. And we have all these speakers that are coming in and speaking to us from, their respective countries or homes. That was a dream. And if you know me, or if you talk to people that know me, they'll tell you that, she always used to say that. And even in the PPC retreats that we used to do, I would get up and that was my passion. And guess what? The pandemic moved me right into it, where I've been able to do workshops, seminars, and conferences from the comfort of my home or hotel or any place that I want to. And I'm also beginning to do them in person. Visualize yourself a few years from now. Look to the future and envision your life in a few years. What do you see? What do you want? So even if that place or that which you want appears to be impossible right now, remember, everything is possible and life could change. The same wind could blow us again. Where will you be? Will your dreams come true? And will you have that picture that you've always wanted? Albert Einstein said visualization is more important than knowledge. And I could talk more and more about this forever. Number 4, look at the sky. And I mean literally go outside and look up into the sky. According to neuroscientist and psychographer Dr. Ellard, he said the majority of our interactions with the world focus on a small part of our visual fields and almost towards the horizon or at what's right in front of us. What he means is looking into the sky, right, is a technique that is used to help us manage unwanted thoughts and feelings. So for an easy way to change your thought patterns, you just go outside and look up in the sky. Spend some time appreciating this sky for at least 2 seconds or more. Watch the clouds move. And if there are no clouds, search for all the edges of the sky that you can look and just be mesmerized with the sky as it is, the clarity. If it's cloudy, observe that. If it's in the evening and you can see the stars sparkle, observe that. And just appreciate yourself looking up into the sky and being more relaxed. Number 5, stop any overthinking. We all have this problem of deep thinking, mind just racing, thoughts coming into our heads. So if you are a deep self-analysis person, right, like I am, overthinking comes very often, and thoughts that sometimes just stop you in the tracks, just come in and stop you in the track. So I'm saying with number 5, stop any overthinking, because overthinking will not empower you over things that are beyond your control. What overthinking does is it brings you into this fear mode where now you're not able to believe in yourself, to trust in your strength, to believe in, the capability that you have to face any situation, to go after anything that you have in your heart. So give yourself a break, because thinking too much can lead to overwhelm. And then, again, as I said, it stops you in the track. Number 6, schedule a chat with an old friend or family member. It's been hard for all of us. But if you want to remind yourself of who you are, what your heart desires are, and what you really love doing, then schedule a chat with an old friend, right? Because then they will be able to talk to you and just remind you of that inner light that you had, of those dreams that you had, right? So you most likely maybe have one family member that you used to talk to or that you are used to, but when you talk to them, they just bring the best out of you. And that's what I'm saying with this one here. Schedule a call or a chat with that somebody that brings the best out of you, that makes you laugh, but just makes you relax. Because calming yourself down is more important at this point, and sometimes it means you being the bigger person. If you haven't talked to that person in a long time, the bigger person that will pick up the phone and say, hey, send a text and say, hey, you got a minute? Let me just, have a chat with you where we can just catch up again. Good old times. But you have to keep trying and do more of what brings out the best in you. Number 7, be authentic. To influence people in a positive way, you need to be authentic. So rather than being a carbon copy of someone else's version of authenticity, you want to uncover what it is that makes you unique in order to start making a positive impact on others. I know many of us in PPC do almost similar work that we do. But the beauty of it is we are all different individuals, and guess what? There is room for all of us. I work more on empowering, women, right? But then there are many people in PPC that work on empowering women. Do you know how many billions of women there are on earth? You can't reach them all. I can't reach them all. The next person cannot reach them all. And then even if we could, not all of them will resonate with me and my style. Not all of them will resonate with Mary Jane and their styles. So we all need to show up and be our authentic selves so that we can connect with those right people that are there to connect with us. There is so much room for all of us to influence other people in a positive way. So you need to be authentic and just show up and be you. Discover your unique, self and show out your unique self. And sometimes it takes you, taking those risks. And then somebody tells you, oh, I love when you blah, blah, blah. I love it when you dot, dot, dot. And you're like, oh, okay, that's something that I can do more of, because then somebody else pointed it out to you. People automatically appreciate people whose public persona matches their private values. So discover your own sense of authenticity. And as I say always, just be you, be free, and the joy and realness that you show will also propel you to exactly what the people need, because they need each and every one of us. You don't have to be an extrovert. You don't have to be an introvert. Just be you and be free to learn from everything that you're doing. Number 8, listen. Listening. To learn how to influence people, you must be able to listen to what is spoken and what is left unsaid. I want you to hear me right. Listen to what is spoken, but mostly listen to what is left unsaid. In what is unsaid, that is where the true explanation of what people need in order to feel, guess what? Validated, supported, and seen. People need to feel validated, supported, and they need to be seen. We all need that as human beings. Because if a person feels like they're invisible or they're not being seen, right, they're likely to be positively influenced that they're not worthy. I mean, that's what they just deduce from it, to say, I guess I'm not worthy. And then it trickles from there. This low self-worth comes from there. So listening and being genuinely interested in them meets a person's primary need of validation and acceptance, which now will propel them into building a self-image, a self-belief, self-confidence, and on and on and on. Number 9, become an expert. Most people are prone to listen to, if not respect, authority. And if you want to positively influence others, become an authority in the area where you want to motivate others. And guess what? It's so easy to become a person of authority because you become an expert. And becoming an expert means you begin with where you know your strengths are. Again, when you do the things that make you excited, make you happy, and sometimes make you even afraid because it's so good and it's so you, but then you're so afraid to do it, you become an expert. Research and read everything that you can about the given topic that you like to do. And then look for opportunities to put your education into practice. One can also argue over opinions, however, that it's unwise, right? if you have the facts, that they'll argue with you. So if you learn more and practice more and become an expert, now you've got facts. Experts always have facts. And whether it's facts that we research or it's facts that we have from proof of what we have shared or what we have taught, working for somebody and somebody giving a testimony to say, you know what, DrStem, what you did and what we did in this work that we did has really transformed my life. That's a fact. And no one can argue that. And that's why it's very important as well. When you do something and you hear people saying, oh my God, I love the way that you cook your oxtail. Then you say, oh, okay. Is it different than anybody else? They say, oh, that oxtail is so good. Well, I love oxtail. But, it just means that you're an expert and there's a recipe. What spice are you putting in there? And you could become an oxtail cooking expert. Boom. People will buy and people will want that recipe. And the rest, as they say, is history. I don't know where that oxtail thing came from, but, maybe I'm hungry. Number 10. Dedicate yourself to what gives your life meaning and purpose. So what's interesting is that thousands of people today believe in meaning and purpose as something to discover in life. And others believe in a purpose, right, that, is taken, like it's an identity or honor, right? But then here's the thing. Being a person of influence brings out your purpose. When you strive to change lives, to impact lives, to share something that you know with other people, therein will lie your purpose. There will be a message that comes from your life that you have led, your experience that you have experienced. You've heard of that, turning your mess into a message, right? It's very true. The mess that you have gone through could be a message for somebody else. The trauma that you have gone through could be a message for somebody else. The steps that you have taken to overcome something could be a message for somebody else. So aim to become peaceful and dedicate yourself to what gives your life meaning and purpose. I have some mindfulness meditations that also can help you on my YouTube channel. You can just type in one word, DrStem, DrStem, and it will be mindfulness meditation. DrStem Be Encouraged is my channel. And look for mindfulness meditations. These are meditations that will help calm your mind so that you can really get to hone into, what do I really, really want? How can I really, really show up in this world? And that's my goal for you. And if you're ready to change your story, Because then when you choose what story that you're going to tell yourself and tell your world, your whole world changes. So check out my website as well, www.drstemy.com. There'll be more for you there. Number 11, commit to continually, better yourself. This is the time to better ourselves in the comfort. Can you believe it? In the comfort of our homes, we literally can better ourselves. So take every chance that you can to learn more about you, know what you want, learn what you enjoy, a new career, new certification, personal and professional development. I think I've done more certification programs in the last 2 years, because, and here's how I think, right? I'm always a person that thinks, you know what? We are in the storm right now, but the sun will shine, and I don't want to show up the same. I want to learn something new. I want to be a better person when I come out of this storm. So I took a lot of certification programs whilst I was scared to go outside, and with all these masks and everything, and not knowing what was going on. So people that impact the world also want to be better at how they impact others. And guess what? They know that they're not perfect. They know that they're not, knowledgeable of everything. They understand their knowledge is not complete. So there are always gaps, biases, limitations, prejudices, and new places to go with, the expertise or their expertise. And I'm one of those, people that have really honed on empowering, encouraging others, and helping others excel personal and professional development, right? So I'm a lifelong learner. Be a lifelong learner of how you can show up better each time. Number 12, embrace the critiques. This is one thing that a lot of people say, well, you know what? People are always critical, and this one is critical. I say embrace the critiques. Make time to understand their critique. The most powerful positive influencers, right? They don't want to be right. They want to grow, become more influential, and become more effective. I am more happy, or I am happier knowing that one person got this training, heard something that just transformed the way that they were thinking and made them take one step towards what they wanted, and the rest is history. I'm happy. One person. But of course, there are many that will be listening to this. But my hope is that you find one out of these 22 that you take and you run with, and the rest will be history. Remember, influencers are not afraid to put their work out there for others to poke holes, critique, talk about, correct. However we want to look at it. Constructive criticism. I used to hate that when I was working. Constructive criticism. You're still criticizing me. Okay, just saying. But be strong and confident in the face of opposition. Receive every feedback. And if it makes sense to you, please remain open and make the changes. You will become a better person. You will reach more people, and more testimonials will come back to you on how you have changed somebody's life out there. Number 13, be ready and willing to share and spread what you know. What you know, the next person does not know. And sometimes we say, well, I was sitting in the same training. I'm certified as a passion test facilitator. So Dr. Stem is also a passion test. So you know what? Maybe let me not show up in the same group as she is. Well. Like I said, you are you. I am different. And I also know that I'm different from the next person. And out of the billions of the people will resonate with you, and they don't want nobody else. They will resonate with that one, and they don't want nobody else. So let's show up. Let's show up and be ready and willing to share what we know. We've all met authors or experts who keep their knowledge a secret, right? Or they have this, things that they know and they just don't want to share with other people. Well, the trick is, and I'll be honest with you, many people will say, well, just share with me and tell me what to do. But then if you're a coach out there, you know that the expertise and the secrets that will propel somebody's career is coaching. And that's what we get paid for. So sometimes you might hear people sharing with you things that are on the surface and they'll give a lot. But then the deeper part of how to really hone onto or into who you truly are and what will work for you might need more time for you to work one-on-one with someone. So be always, cognizant of that. That sometimes people don't want to share. But it's not because they don't want to share. They will share as much as they can, but you might need to pay extra now, to pay a little bit of something when you desire coaching. But then here's the thing. Most people are also afraid to share what they know because they're afraid to let it out. They're afraid that they will not be able to get paid. So there are two schools to that, which is a little bit, I know I'm confusing you, right? Should I share? Should I not share? Please share as much as possible so people know your style, know how you can impact lives. Share as much as you can. There's always more to teach when you coach, a person that is way more than what you are sharing. So do not shy away from sharing so people know you and know what you bring to their lives, how you can help them. They can't know and sign up with you if they don't know or they've never seen you or heard you. They need to know how you can help them. So there's no competition. Like I said, we all can share on the same topic, same stage. Again, people will resonate to who they need to resonate with, and it's okay. There's room for everyone. Number 14. View this journey called life as a goal. Don't take shortcuts or go for the quick buck or seek an easy answer. The journey is long. Endure. Hang in there. Because from that experience comes a better you, or maybe let me say a better version of you. It's about what you're learning in life, what you're experiencing in life, and how you will help build others to become the best version of themselves. What I have learned is you grow from failure. When you fail, it's not pretty. It's not something that is easy to deal with. But when you look at it from an angle where, what is it that I'm supposed to learn from this experience? You become more fluid and flexible. You become more open to new ways. You also become a better person because now you get to sit in the seat of learning, which is where you want your audience to be, in that seat where they'll be learning from you. But you get to sit in that learning seat and learn from life. So collaborate with others, because it will make a huge difference in this one life goal that you have. You will learn. You will also allow yourself to be in bigger and widespread stages with other people when you collaborate. You'll be able to use your power and influence as well when you are collaborating with others. So make your life goal, your journey of life, a big goal to reach many, and to also reach much of what's inside of you and be able to let your light shine. Number 15. Boy, I'm having fun. Have a positive attitude. In my experience, I've realized, so here's the thing, for many of you that probably will be listening to this and don't know what I do, I literally have been providing therapy, counseling services for over 20 years. So I'm a therapist. licensed psychotherapist. I'm also a life and career coach and wellness trainer. So in all those capacities, I've been able to work with people, and I noticed that people get turned off pretty quick by anger, by negativity, and people that are just blah and just like can I say this? Miserable. People don't like miserable people. They want to have a good time. I hate to say that. They just, I've noticed that and I've observed that. So I recommend being excited about who you are, being positive about who you are. And I'm not saying all of us should be in this, 100% positive and stuff, but your energy will show when you are in the right mindset, in a more comfortable, peaceful, and just, happier mindset. So there are certain times that we have to make time for the doom and gloom. So don't get me wrong. And I truly understand that. But I also believe that we have control on how long we allow the doom and gloom to stay in our lives. We have that control, 100%. I'm always saying to people, it's not what happens to you that matters. It's not what is said to you that matters. It's how you respond to life that matters. It's how you respond to situations that matters. Which means we have two ways of looking at everything that happens in our life. We can either react or we can respond. So when we talk about stay positive, try and see the positive, try and see the light, we are helping you move towards the response part. Because response allows you to be calm, to be peaceful, to be receptive, to agree, to disagree, to agree, to agree. And it just gives you more options. Whereas if you react, you are angry, you are seeing things in one way, and you are, reacting in one way. So I think there are less opportunities of managing your emotions when you're reacting, whereas response gives you a whole lot of time to sit back and process and also think about how you are responding. People ask me all the time, listen to this one, right? People ask me all the time, how do you stay positive? And how can I stay positive even in daunting times? And my answer is simple. I always look at the big picture. I believe there's more for me to experience in that moment. And I'm also grateful that I'm alive to be able to have a choice to respond or react. I never take that for granted. The gift of life and the gift of being able to respond or react. I also stay positive by having little goals to achieve on a daily or weekly basis. Why? Because I think every life is precious and every moment is precious. And I know that more now after the pandemic, where many of my friends, relatives, many people around the world whose lives ended in a blink of an eye. So I know that it's important for me to focus on my health, my happiness, and how I show up every day. By looking at life this way, I'm able to stay positive rather than feel the doom and gloom of life in a big chunk of my life. There's always something more. There are always more miracles and possibilities for me to explore. And what I've realized is when my mind is calm, I get to see more. I get to receive more great messages, great opportunities. I call them divine opportunities, divine connections, I mean, it's endless. So have a positive attitude. I'm sure you can tell how passionate I am about that one, right? Number 16, be confident. Do what you know is right for you. Let me repeat that. Be confident and do what you know is right for you. Live a joyous life and be happy about your life. Follow that feeling, that deep gut feeling that comes along when you are in situations that you just feel like, why am I feeling this way? Honor that. Show that any sacrifices that you've made are truly coming from within. Don't be afraid to say no. Don't be afraid to walk away. Don't be afraid to stay if you want to stay. But just be confident knowing what is right for you. Number 17, focus on how you can benefit from positive changes. But then also know that there will be times when not everything will be positive. So embrace and accept any challenges that come your way. Know that times are going to be tough and you're going to be tough every single day. But maybe not every single day. Because some days are just going to be, and just let them be. Because when you give up, you're no longer a positive, influence to yourself or others. So do not allow giving up to be an option in your life. Number 18, be creative and take it step by step. And don't forget to surround yourself with like-minded people. Come up with exciting and interesting ways to get people thinking and get them to care. Pete Casabon is really one of those people that is creative in PPC, that has this way of coming up with interesting ways to get people thinking and getting them to get there. I was very excited when I saw an invitation that said, hey, is anybody out there to do a spring summit where we can just, come out again and be, influencers in PPC and collaborate again in PPC and just reawakening what we started years ago, positivity. So I'm excited to have seen that. But most of all, I'm excited that I said yes. Say yes more often. And even if you don't know how you will show up or what you will do, say yes. And the ways will come your way. In other words, find ways to also play more, have fun, and influence more. I want to ask you to take a look back at your life with this one. When you take a look back, do you see yourself when you were writing your goals and what you wanted to do, when you tapped into something that you said, this is exciting. I would love to do this for the rest of my life. I want you to tap into that and write that thing out. What is it that you did or you were in, or maybe you attended a conference, a seminar, you read a book, you saw a movie, and you said, I would love to do this for the rest of my life. I look back and see how I have grown personally and professionally. I look back and I remember this kind of influence and just being able to speak to people at any time, whether through audio, video, in person, just excites me to just have an interaction with people. So I hope that if you come across this presentation, that you will make a comment underneath wherever you see it, whether it's on YouTube, in PPC, at the summit. I hope that you will share with me what ignited that, excitement in you. What number that I said that ignited that, because I love interaction. I love to hear from other people. Everything takes time. Don't lose hope. Take one day at a time, and even in the darkness, believe that the light will shine. Even in the rain, know that the rain will stop and the sun will shine again. There's no darkness that lasts forever. There's no hopelessness that lasts forever. So lastly, in the last 4 of these tips, I want to use the acronym CALM, CALM. And I'm also going to, disclaimer, approach it from a faith perspective. And when I say a faith perspective, that means you can apply the next 4 that I'm going to share with you from, God, faith, the higher power, universe, or powers that help guide you. Number 19, the C. Consider dreaming bigger than you've ever dreamt before. If your life could change for the better, what would it look like? Let your mind roll away in La La Land and just imagine. Expect surprises and miracles every day. Number 20, the A. Acknowledge everything that you've ever desired and wanted, because it is all achievable. And I'm a believer that all things are possible with God. Definitely, I'm a believer. I'm also a believer that knows that for we walk by faith and not by sight. I have faith of a mustard seed. And I have belief that with just the minimal belief that you have, that I have, I always knew that one day the heavens will open up and I'll be able to do what I love and just meet and be with the people that I love being around. You too can have that faith of a mustard seed. So whatever your desires are, acknowledge everything that you desire and you too will achieve it. Number 21, look, the L, look for the lesson. There are lessons everywhere. I mean, in every situation, and yes, everywhere. And sometimes the lessons do not come the way that you want them to come or that you expect them to come. Ask God to show you what He wants you to see in the moment and stay tuned to His instruction. I find it is helpful for me to remind myself that God is working in my life. And when I say, God, show me what you want me to see in this situation, mold me through this situation, and open my eyes to the truth of what it is that I'm supposed to learn, He never fails. So acknowledge that everything that you're going through, that you've gone through, there's a lesson in it. You can now start to go back and find those lessons that you see in there. Look for the lessons. And I'm saying this one because it's hard sometimes to look at life and say, what lesson was I supposed to learn from this? Because it's so painful. And there's so much that people have done that I have experienced that it's hard to see it as a lesson. I totally and truly understand. Give yourself the grace to even pray and ask for the strength to see the lessons. Because in those lessons lies the true you, the real you, and the things that now you can teach others, share with others, or maybe just learn from. Number 22, and the final one, the M, make it a point to praise and be grateful. The Bible instructs us to give thanks in all circumstances, for this is God's will for you in Christ Jesus. Not that the command in this instance says in all circumstances. even the unexpected, even in the uncomfortable, even in the unwanted circumstances. We have to give thanks in all situations. And I think now I understand why we had to give thanks, because we're not being thankful of the difficulty or the challenges. We're being thankful of who we are becoming in those challenges, who we become in those challenges. So that, my friend, are the 22 ways of how to be a positive influence in a world full of division. I have just shared with you 22 ways to help calm yourself when all seems to be falling apart. My name again is Stembile Mahlatini, and I'm known as Dr. STEM. To learn more about the work that I do that will support life transitions, self-care, and success, please visit my website, www.drstemi.com. That is www.drstemmie.com. Or you can also go to www.womenselfcaresuccess.com. That's all one word, www.womenselfcaresuccess.com. Please continue to stay safe and be encouraged. Stay safe and be encouraged.